Hello everyone, my name is Keshav Kumar. This is part 4 of course Responsible Innovation. In this video, we'll be looking at stakeholder engagement and stakeholder analysis. Okay, first let's talk about stakeholder engagement. Stakeholder engagement aims at establishing a platform where ideas and information from a variety of stakeholders are shared and assimilated. In the process, mutual trust and respect can be built among different stakeholders through social learning. Thus, stakeholder engagement has the potential to increase transparency and decision-making process, which means stakeholders' active participation in decision-making and other programs. Stakeholder engagement means building trust between those with very different views, or in this case, the stakeholders. It is a part of a bigger picture, which is stakeholder analysis. You can distinguish stakeholder analysis into the following steps: stakeholder engagement strategy, identification and mapping of stakeholders, consultation with stakeholders, and last, action plan. Okay, let's talk about all the steps. So step 1 is strategy. Stakeholder engagement should be aligned with organization's objectives. Learn from the past. Look at your organization's existing engagement activities. What are the objectives of these activities? Which stakeholders communicate regularly with your company? What groups do they cover well? While making a strategy, just remember, be forward thinking, be diverse, and be social. Step 2, identification and mapping. The identification of stakeholders will depend on the company business, its impacts, and its current engagement objective. As the environment around the company evolves, and as stakeholders themselves make decisions or change their opinions, the identification process is not static. Rather, it's a dynamic process and it should be updated as necessary. After the identification, you can start with mapping of stakeholders. As it is a difficult task to give equal attention to everyone, it is necessary to list their interests, their perspective, impact, etc. Some of the powerful mapping grids are 2x2 stakeholder matrix and ring stakeholder map. Now moving on to step 3, consulting. There are many ways for consulting. There are some general best practices which I can talk about. Don't wait till the problem is there to engage. Be transparent and be honest. Successful engagement depends on the motive of the action. Now, after this, we move on to the last step, which is step 4, action plan. As a follow-up to step 3, consulting, you can now start to draft an action plan. Here are some things to remember. Make an analysis on your initial objectives. Make sure to incorporate success. Ensure that current and future decisions take into account. Ensure that roles and responsibilities are well defined. Consider every output of motive. Define each action. Following these steps can be a great practice for stakeholder analysis and tell us how to carefully engage stakeholders for your company's profit. This was it for this video. In the next video, I will be briefly talking about Evola. Evola is a company that was created in 2004 as one of the first synthetic biology firm in the world. Evola produced what are called yeast strains, which are then brewed like beer in the traditional fermentation process. I will also be studying about relationships between RRI and stakeholder engagement. Thank you.